Former landmark Catholic Church northwest of Saskatoon burns to the ground. 15th church burned in recent weeks.
Here's a summary of the article.
She hopped into her car to check out the source as she started driving toward a nearby former Roman Catholic church. I didn't get very far from home. Then I realized it was our landmark church that was burning. Swiston said in an interview Thursday afternoon as she watched fire consume the church. It wasn't a church that was used, but it was a landmark for us. Swiston and others watching the fire said they believed the Polish church had been there for at least 100 years. Several churches in Canada, including some prominent Catholic churches, have been burned in the wake of revelations that unmarked graves have been located on the grounds of former Indian residential schools that were run by churches. Swiston said it took about half an hour for the church to burn to the ground. As the first on the scene, Swiston said the fire definitely began in the church and not nearby.
This post received a score of 62,000, with an upvote ratio of 87%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
It wasn't a church that was used, but it was a landmark for us. Isn't that the case with a lot of churches in Eastern Canada? I went through Quebec and Montreal a couple of years ago and it seemed like most older churches were either libraries or daycare centers or some hipster space.
In my wife's hometown in Quebec, most of the churches are for sale. They turned into offices and condos. The condos part are true in Montreal. Been seeing a lot of conversion like that recently.
Man, I'm not religious, but it would be cool living in an old church.
It would be very convenient if you ever wanted to turn your home into a gothic lair for some reason.
Why would one need a reason?
Fuck, it's almost an obligation.
You think people might be keeping an eye on these after the first 14?
I live about 20 minutes from this church. There are old churches no longer in use that have been converted to museums, like this one, literally every couple miles in any direction of you if you're standing anywhere in the SK prairies. Most are privately owned by the farmer that owns the quarter of land they're built on. That doesn't even include the 3+ still active Catholic churches in every single small town in Saskatchewan.
Greater than that doesn't even include the 3+ still active Catholic churches in every single small town in Saskatchewan. Can confirm. I used to deliver prescriptions to a hamlet near my town. Probably not more than 100 to 200 people live there. There's more churches in that town than there are businesses.
Are churches tax exempt in Canada like they are in the US?
This comment section is a war zone. What the hell happened?
It got as heated as the thermal dome over Canada.
Tomorrow's headline: 1.4 billion Reddit accounts shadow banned.
That was an open-to-public museum, no longer used for worship. Built by Poles 100 years earlier. Funnily, I was just at the Roaring Camp Railroad, which is a museum railroad built to reenact a logging railroad, and it got the same treatment. Burned. When a bunch of actual logging railroads got torched in the 70s by environmental activists.
Did you take it to the boardwalk?
We didn't. That's the big gauge RR that goes from SC to RCRR. Then they have a 100-year-old narrow-gauge steam locomotive that goes up Bear Mountain from camp.
Native folks are asking that the burnings stop, and Native folks are going to receive the brunt of any backlash from the burnings. Quite the pickle up there.
Tensions are really high over here on the East Coast and fishing season is coming up. Things will probably get very bad.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.